You taught us a lesson about not teaching lessons? It was my last lesson. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. We're in the Plan, which is my weekly show about all the different things that are going on the holotables. And I'm not even going to talk about all the bugs that are happening in the game. Like Riva apparently bugged, apparently the web store is bugged. I'm not even going to talk about the things I'm talking about right now. So, yeah, this episode came out a little late, by the way, folks. My sleeping is bugged as well, in the sense that I just passed out. It was a catastrophic sleeping incident. I woke up and my phone hadn't even been plugged in. I was just very sleep deprived and just trying to get some sleep. Apparently my body took over and said, hey, stop doing the things that you're doing, as in like stop making videos about not farming Aphra. So this is coming out way later than I had intended, but better late than never. It's I guess is kind of the truth. If you want to support the channel for free, folks, all you gotta do is like, subscribe, comment, all those things. Help me melt the algorithm. Do all the things that it says on this screen, folks. And if you can't read, I don't want your help. Okay? Nothing. I don't want nothing from you. Now, I do actually. Please click like and subscribe. Please. Please. Please? Okay. For the weekly Star Wars, but not Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes news that I've been talking about. This is actually not exactly within the last week, but I thought this was interesting, especially for those of you who are watching Mandalorian. This isn't exactly spoilers, except for, there's just like a certain line that you have to cross of like, well, I'm just going to assume that you watched this, or if you're going to watch it, you should have watched it by now. And so, nothing from season 3, but there was, the couple episodes of the Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett show that, where it was basically just became Mandalorian season 2.5. And so, in the end of season 2, Grogu goes off with Luke, and in season 2.5, Grogu comes back to Mando. However, in a recent interview, Jon Favreau, who's the guy who's running the show, who's making the show, he did an interview saying that Grogu is, in fact, he had stayed with Luke and trained with him for 2 years or thereabouts, like somewhere around 2 years, and apparently Mandalorian has just like been on walkabout, just chilling, doing his thing, just chilling, and he's So, and then Grogu comes back, but it's been like 2 years, which is interesting. And there's nothing in canon that says that that's happened. Like, there's no source material that says this. It's just like the guy who's making the show. And so it's like, is this canon? Is it not? Like, what exactly, like, what should we believe? What should we take as truth? But, it does explain a few things. If you really pay attention, I'm not going to give you spoilers for Season 3 at all, but if you really pay attention to some of the details in 3, and in 2.5 for that matter, like, it makes some sense. It makes some sense, in fact. So, I don't know, I thought that was interesting, that Grogu's training with Luke for a couple years. It doesn't feel like it, though. It doesn't, they should have said something. It's also just like, did they just conform to Earth years, too? Like, oh yeah, like, 720-ish days, 730 days or so is 2 years. Like, how do they even define day? It's very interesting. So, anyways, back to Galaxy of Heroes. I made another of the, I'm calling them Explained now, I think. So someone, I'm just totally forgetting, Jedi, I think, made the suggestion that I call them that, and I like it. So far, that's what I'm calling them now. But, talking about lore and, being a little bit irreverent, I made another one of these. They're getting really poor views, folks. Like, really good feedback, really good like ratings, and no views. And I would just encourage people, if you see it on your feed or something, it would really be awesome, even if you're not going to watch it right away, if you could just let it play Like just click on it and let it play, and get these things a little bit of momentum. If you wanted to help, that would really be appreciated. There's been a ton of time making them, and I think that they're well received. It's like they're not going onto other people's feeds. They're not getting out there. The algorithm, they're not penetrating. They're not mounting the algorithm, and you know, it's discouraging. And if you want more of these videos, I mean, eventually I'll just have to stop if they're not getting good clicks. Like I don't enjoy making them enough to go without sleep an entire night every week if I'm not getting some clicks. So anyways, not to hold a gun to your head or anything, but just something to keep in mind. Now, in terms of my own things that are going on in the game, I'm actually in the top 8 in Galaxy of Heroes on my main account. Right now, I'm in the big group. Now, if you look at the leaderboards, I might be a different place than 8th. I won't tell you which way I'm at, which direction, but I am in the top group, which means I could potentially get placed against, you know, like Aesop Rock or Brainiac or, you know, any of those guys who just kind of reside in this top group. But one way or another, you know, I just tell you this because this is a pretty epic week, and if you wanted to come watch my GACs in the next couple days, that would probably be a wise thing, just in the sense that it's kind of a spectacle, you know, like everyone I'm facing is just really, really strong and you know, good at the game. And if you want to see some of the stuff at the top, like my account is literally, I have an 11.1 million account, which is a big account, I realize, and yet for this group I am 700,000 GP lower than the next lowest person. I'm the lowest, the next person's at 11.8, and everyone else is way higher for the most part. So it's a spectacle. It's special. It's interesting. It's been fun, kind of. Now, for those of you who watch Crate Expectations, nothing is like wrong or anything, but you should know that Sarah will be leaving for a little bit. She hasn't made any kind of like secret about it, so I can tell you, like, she's going to have her baby, and that's awesome and wonderful, and I wish her the very, very best. She will not be here. However, I believe I'm going to continue making these videos with someone else, so stay tuned. I think next week we're going to be shooting our first one, and should be interesting. So I think all the action is going to stay on this channel, though. You won't have to go to Sarah's channel, because Sarah won't be involved. She is not being replaced at all. She is just leaving for something that's considerably more important than making a YouTube show about Galaxy of Heroes. Alright, just FYI. Now, in the game we have some new kits that came out. We have Cal Kestis alongside of Seer, Junda, or something like that. And Seer isn't in the game yet, and Cal Kestis is about as average as they come in terms of stats, which is fine because of all of his ramping stuff. It's looking like this is going to be a really interesting team. Like, the idea that they have mechanics to make... it's very interesting. They're making it so that you can have slow characters, and you actually want that. Like, you have to... It's funny because there's some people that I face in GAC who don't have any mods that are at +10 but lower than +15. Like, people who are just like deleting mods in like the 15 to 16 range, because they're like, well, this is worthless. I have literally every mod I have is higher than this, and which is crazy on its own level. It really is. It's hard to even contemplate, but like, those guys are actually going to struggle just a tiny bit with this team. Like, they're going to have to farm new mods and keep some slower mods on them. So, you know, it's going to be a really cool, like, kind of turd polishing team where he explicitly helps Ahsoka, Tano, Fulcrum get better, at least in Territory Wars, and it's a very interesting concept team. I'm fairly excited for it, and they also released, I mean, it was almost like a miniature road ahead. They also released a thing about his event that's going to be about his unlock and everything. I'm very interested to see when they're going to release it. Like, if they space them out every 2 weeks from now until May the 3rd is when the last character, excuse me, until the last character is released. That it'll be May the 3rd, so they could theoretically have the Cal Kestis unlock event on May the 4th, which would not surprise me at all. So, before you get too excited about the Cal Kestis event, which it is exciting, by the way, I just want to give kind of a PSA that in 3 weeks we're going to be unlocking the Spider-Man trench. And for some of you, so a lot of people, I don't know, like a lot of the people I talk to, most of the people I talk to, in fact, are going to be unlocking Riva pretty soon. Like, some people already have unlocked Riva, actually. As crazy as that is, my guild will unlock it in 2 weeks, the next territory battle. My alt will unlock it the week after, or, the territory battle after. And I know that some guilds, some people aren't, a lot of people watching this aren't going to have it there. They won't have it yet. But I just want to remind you, these guys require a lot of gear, and they're going to be released at about the same time. Like, Riva and Trench both with, very, very close to each other. And if you don't have 750 carbs and 1,200 total Cairo pieces. Now that includes salvage from both sides of it. So that, it's a lot. I mean, 1,200 Cairo pieces. I have it stored up on my main account. My alt is a little bit cringing right now, but also together they combine to require 6 Omicrons. I don't really think we're gonna have to apply all of them, but they're pretty good. They're like all of the crons look pretty decent. So just a reminder, guys, this is a lot of gear that you're gonna need all of a sudden, all at the same time. So gear other things responsibly. Okay. Now, for the Cal Kestis stuff, the requirements, first off, I think it's interesting that we're getting, the other requirements have been announced. So we're getting Tarful, we're getting Saw Gerrera, and then the other ones we already knew about. Marin is going to help Night Sisters, so I'm excited about that. Tarful, I'm just wondering, what tag is he going to have? Is he just going to be straight up light side and that's it? Is he going to be like Juhani, like light side support or something like that? Or is he going, are they actually going to give us a Wookiee faction? Because, I mean, in the territory battles, in, Sector 3, or whatever, round 3, there's a Wookiee mission on Kashyyyk. And, I mean, obviously he's going to have that. Tarful's a character. He's a Wookiee character. It's pretty minor, but he's like one of their leaders. And I'm guessing he's going to be like, hey, I'm guessing we get the Wookiee tag, is my guess. That's what I would bet, were I a betting man, which I kind of am sometimes, but not like nothing crazy. But it's going to be interesting. The Wookiee tag, the Saw Gerrera, is he going to revitalize the Mon Mothma team, or are we going to get a secondary Rebel Fighters team? I don't know. I'm hoping we get he helps the Rebel Fighters somehow, or maybe we just get the Partisans, which is his his terrorist group. But I mean, it's still would be interesting. We could get Edrio Two Tubes, who we could make Nest part we could make Nest part of it, I guess. I don't know, because she's tied to Two Tubes. Who knows? But one way or another, it's gonna be an interesting thing. I like the requirements. However, there's some interesting things here as well, in the sense that it's tough to so alongside the unlock requirements, which are Gear 12, there's also going to be a new territory battle requirement, which is also going to be I don't know I'm not sure what to think here, because okay, so you need Gear 12 to unlock Cal Kestis, Survivor, or whatever his name is, the big guy, the 6th character on this. But you also need to get, you also need Relic 7 on at least Cal Kestis and Seer Junda to be able to access the new bonus node on the territory battle. And the bonus node is going to give us more stars in territory battles, earlier on, and So like the two are kind of tied together, but kind of not. I'm interested to see where this all goes, but there's actually a lot of nodes possible in this in territory battles right now. I think 54 is the most stars we can currently get, but they've already said that if they add a bonus node with stars, we're going to also they're also going to increase the max threshold of stars that your guild can earn, which makes me wonder how many stars we're gonna get here. Let's skip that one for a sec. I put them in the wrong order, but all right. Look at all the numbering here. These are the potential areas that we could expand to get a new node. And so if you look at it, the new one will either be, well, I'm guessing. So it's after Baraka, which is on the light side. My guess is that number 8 is where the new bonus node is going to be. But we could have up to 12 bonus nodes, folks, it looks like. Those are the numbering. I think that we have 12, and we won't have star. They already kind of said, like, some of them won't have stars, but we'll have missions on all of them. And here's the thing that I'm really getting at, folks. Territory battles already takes me between 45 minutes and an hour because I have all the squads that I don't even have all of them, but close to all the squads for each planet up to a certain point. And if we have to do 12 bonus nodes, and also we have, like, for this new event, we have to do the unlock node on Baraka as well to even access the new node, the bonus node. So there's going to be like a new combat that we have to do. And if our guild qualifies for it, then we go into the bonus node on number 8, and we have to do missions there as well. And we have platoons there. Like, this adds to the complexity of territory battles by quite a bit. And I don't necessarily mind added complexity, but I don't necessarily want to have to do, like, if it's the same process for all of them, that's an extra, over the course of it, an extra minimum of 24 missions that we would have to do at the end. 24 missions without, like, within the same week. Like, we're already doing a crazy amount of missions anyways. I don't know if I love this, guys. I'm like, the concept is cool. And people are like, oh, well, you just don't want to spend all this time in the game. I don't ever have enough time in the game. Like, here's the thing. I think once you hit a certain point, just because I have an alt, I barely play my alt. Like, someone else is helping me with my alt. Sarah's awesome, and I'm gonna have to be playing it a lot more now coming up. But like, I don't want more stuff to do in the game necessarily. Like, I need them to reduce the number of things I have to do in the game. That, like, let me spend more time playing the things I want. I don't really care about territory battles as much, and I'm not trying to reduce, like, territory battles for the rest of you. But another 24 missions, and they're probably kind of specialized and difficult missions, is problematic for me. That's very challenging, and so. Whereas I think that the concept is cool, and it would actually be overall beneficial for guilds in terms of overall results, and that's a good thing. I do think that there's a certain level of, like, with what time am I going to be able to do all these? Like, I know that this is just projecting, but I mean, if they're going to do bonus nodes this way for everyone, for all of them, and it's going to be available every single time, this is an exhausting amount of work for territory battles. And, like, what are they going to do with GAC? Like, they need to expand GAC soon again, because they keep giving us so many characters, but how much time do we have for that? And territory wars, like, they need to expand that, at least for some guilds. It's all just very difficult. Now, the final thing I want to talk about, folks, is which should you farm right now? Which should you focus on? And it's kind of a weird thing, because Aphra, the characters are all farmable now, right? So you can get all the characters and unlock Aphra, and it's not bad to have her. And I'm not telling you shouldn't farm Aphra necessarily. I would say that there's a big, just kind of, I don't know, there's a lot of reasons why you should work on on maybe just ignoring Aphra a little bit. So she's really, really great right now with the current Datacron. Wonderful. Can't have a better Datacron than hers. Overpowered like crazy. One of the best teams in the game, yes. And in 2 months, less than 2 months time, she will go from one of the best teams in the game to a pretty middling to like, oh, she's okay kind of character. Like the Kron is just that good. And once that goes away, I just don't know how good she's gonna be. She needs a new tank on the team. She needs like a strong dark side tank. If she gets that, a dark side droid tank, then she might be relevant again. But right now, she is just kind of worthless. She's a worthless sack, and she dies so easily, so crazy easily. And if you want to put a tank with her, like a light side droid, it makes the whole team way less powerful. So I think I'm going to do a video comparing these two, so I don't want to spend a huge amount of time on it. But she is required for like 2 or 3 total nodes on territory battles, that's kind of nice. It's a nice perk, but then you have to get her and her whole team up to relic like 7 or 8 to be able to do all those, which is more resources. And you know, all of her unlocked characters are decent. Like, she's not like a terrible deal. It's not like, well, oh man, like it'd be worse to have her than not. Like, of course you want to unlock all the characters, but if you're like me and you don't have resources, like my alt does not have enough resources right now to get everything, I would consider doing Tuskens instead of Aphra, or even just skipping Tuskens too and working on the Cal Kestis stuff. I know that Cal won't be available for people who are more free to play right away, and that's fine. But if you get those resources and get ready for it, I would just advise skipping Aphra, because he's going to be a requirement for the new node, and that new node is going to give us something cool and awesome. They haven't told us what the reward is going to be, but I guarantee my guess is that it'll be pretty important and helpful to our guild. Also, you're going to be boosting, if you get him, you're just going to boost your Night Sisters team with Marin. You're going to boost probably get a new Wookiee team, and that'll help in the Wookiee mission with Tarful. He's probably going to be like a Wookiee lead, if I had to guess. We have Sar Guerrera, who's going to be helping the Rebel fighters. So if you have a Mothma team, which you already probably have Mothma and Katarn, because they're both required for Starkiller, and I think Mothma is required for, is it 1 or 2 different things? I think maybe Profundity and Jedi Master Luke, if I remember correctly. And so that'll help. And I don't know, like if you already have the Fulcrum Omicron, which I don't, but if some people do, like that'll be good. He'll make a lot of other characters better. Like overall, it's looking like he's going to be a much more impactful character to the game, to your roster, to everyone, than old Aphra is, unfortunately. I do like Aphra. She really needs something else to give her a boost, because we got nothing right now. Like, Han Solo's like, yeah, I'll just kill her. You're like, oh, do you need help? He's like, no, I'll just do it. No, he does need help, but it's not difficult. She's not a paragon of defense or offense at all without the Kron. So, all right, folks, this has been going long enough. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth